What's up, guys? My name's Kret, and today I have something fun for you. Well, fun is... Anyway, so this is a effective health and time to kill slash DPS calculator. The effective health part is fairly robust. It works for all gods. It accounts for all passives in its own way. Let's go through that first. We're gonna stay on Athena, but it can do other gods, right? Like if I go to Agni, base health changes, base protections change, magic protection, etc. All of that will change. We're gonna stick to Athena. We can change our level. Let's level up to 20. And we can do our items. So let's do Watcher's Gift, Sovereignty. So items are not bound by magical or physical. That's just a really annoying feature to implement, so it's not something that I've done yet. But like you could put in a Deathbringer. This doesn't really help you do anything. So just stick to items that your character can build if you want an accurate representation. This should be Midas. Oh. And Midas. There we go. Sov. Let's do Watchers. Okay. No, not Watchers. Magi's. There we go. Alright, so what this does is it shows you your physical effective health and your magical effective health. So effective health is how much raw damage it takes for you to die. So you have 3,450 health. You have 184 physical protections, which reduces the damage that you take by more than 50%, which means that your effective health for physical damage, which is like the amount of raw physical damage you need to take before you die, is 9,798. For magical, it's 6,313. That's the amount of raw damage you need to take before you die. Cool. So now we're gonna use some items that you may or may not be able to build on Athena, just in case. So the first thing is a sovereignty aura is baked into a sovereignty when you're building it. If you don't have a sovereignty, there's the option to act as if you're under the effect of a sovereignty aura. So let's see, we have Warlock Sash instead of a sovereignty. We have 100 stacks. That means we have 300 bonus health from the Warlock Sash plus the 300 over here. Let's say we are under the effect of someone else's sovereignty. That gives us extra 20 protections. What else do we have? There's Hide of the Urchin. Number of stacks, we have 2 stacks. That gives us 4 extra physical and magical protections. There's Runic Shield. Obviously can't be bought in Athena. And it has the option to have the passive effect where the passive of this item is when you get hit by an ability, it boosts your magic protection up for a few seconds. So you can turn that on and off. Turn off. And then last is the Shifter's Shield. If you're below 50% health, it gives you 20 bonus protections. You can turn that on or off. Okay, so let's go back to the build we had. So Sov. And if you don't have an item, the bonuses magically go away. So we're getting rid of Warlock Sash for Sov. Bonus health goes back to 0. No Heart of the Urchin. No Shifter's Shield. Let's just leave it with those 3 items. And we don't want an external Sov aura. Okay. So, and actually when I release this, I'm just going to program this so this doesn't show up and doesn't work if you have a sovereignty, just so you can't double up. So this gives us our effective health, right? For this build, level 20, Watcher's Gifts, Midas Boost, Sovereignty, we have so much health, so much magic power. Let's go down to this calculator. This is much more beta. There are a lot of things that don't work, but it does what it needs to do. So first we put in our character. You can pick any character. You should only pick hunters. So we're going to stick with Neith. Bam. Let's go up to level 20, and let's just put in a build. So our first item will be Devourer's Gauntlets. This shows up and it says, oh hey, how many stacks do you have? I have 60. If we put in a Heartseeker, that shows up over there, 50 stacks. And you can change the number of stacks you have. Transcends 50 stacks, takes into account your mana. But let's do Warrior Tabby in this spot instead. We can do the Executioner. So the Executioner acts as if it has full stacks, and it says that here. What this means is that you're acting as if you've already hit your target 3 times when it's calculating your DPS. Which means it's not entirely accurate, but the possibility of calculating DPS stack by stack is something that will probably be added in the future when I figure out how to do that. Step, we'll do chin size. Chin size is programmed. It pops up over here with your chin's DPS, which is the damage chin size does based on your attack speed and your target's health. So we're up against a target with 3,100 health, and it's going to do 200 damage-ish, slightly more than 200 damage multiplied by the attack speed. Sorry, 150 damage multiplied by the attack speed, so it gives us 263. Raw DPS. Added from chin size. Then we'll do rage. This adds our crit chance up to 42%. It automatically accounts for the rage passive. So when you adjust a rage, it averages out to a 42% chance to crit. If you add a Deathbringer on top, it averages out to a 56% chance to crit. It accounts for the Deathbringer passive as well, giving us crit damage 775, and shows us our raw DPS. So raw DPS is your damage times your chance to not crit, plus your crit damage times your chance to crit, multiplied by your attack speed, added with your chin's DPS, your malice DPS if you have one, and your malice proc gets added in after too. Malice proc is added in as 1 proc, or 1 tick per second, because it clips, so it will never do more than that. It can do less, but it probably won't if you have a malice. Okay. And then it spits out your mitigated DPS. So this is the amount of DPS you're doing after protections. Okay? That's sort of a different number. So raw DPS is like, how much damage am I doing before their protection's taken into account? Before their protection reduced my damage. How much damage am I doing after, including their protections and my penetration? So if we were to sell this Deathbringer for a Titan's Bane, let's see what happens. It should improve the relationship between raw DPS and mitigated DPS, but reduce our raw DPS. And it puts us at 606 because of our significantly lower raw DPS, but mitigated DPS is relatively high thanks to the passive flat or percent penetration. Now it shows us our time to kill with a first auto attack at 0 seconds. This is a weird stat, but it's really important. So what that means is it's how many seconds it takes to kill. Let's make that a nicer number. It's how many seconds it takes to kill if your first auto attack starts the timer, right? So it's 9 shots to kill, and it would be at 0 seconds it would be the first hit, and then it would be the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. That 9th hit comes in at 4.7 seconds. This is shots to kill. It is the actual shots to kill, not the estimated shots to kill. So it's your average damage per shot. It's your actual average shots to kill. It's your average damage per shot added up until it becomes a larger number than your opponent's health pool. And then this is your health, their health before your final shot. So it's how much health they have left right before you fire the killing shot. So in some cases with different builds, higher damage builds, lower damage builds, this number could be smaller. It's how much health they'll survive with if you don't quite kill them, right? So it could be like 50 or whatever. And that's more of an interesting number when you're looking at mages. So let's take a look at mage. We'll do Agni. Don't want to Watcher's Gift. So Shoes of the Magi. He's got a fully stacked Warlock Sash. Book of Thoth. None of these really add any protections. I'm just putting them in for, you know, good measure. He'll have a Bancross in this slot. And then our Rod. Okay. So there's our Agni. He's got a fully stacked Warlock Sash. Nothing else really giving him bonus protections. Oh, and let's say he's got a Savora, right? So we're going to use this same build. We're doing 1200 raw DPS. It's lower raw DPS because our Chins is less effective thanks to his lower health pool. Mitigated DPS is 900. We're going to kill him in 5 shots with a time to kill of 2.35 seconds if the first second is when our first shot, or if the 0 second is when our first shot connects, and his health before the final shot is 250. So that seems like a pretty good time to kill. Okay, now here's the big thing. Sort of, it's not really a problem, it's just sort of a necessary circumstance, right? Odysseus bow. Odysseus bow is a really good item in terms of raw DPS. So we're going to sell a Deathbringer. Okay, right. So we have a Deathbringer. That puts our raw DPS at roughly 1200. If we don't have it, it's 831. So that's like a little bit less than, it's around 300 DPS, right? 300, 400. Let's put in an Odysseus bow into this slot. 1340. That's our raw DPS when Odysseus bow fully bounces. So that means I shoot the Agni, it hits him, and then it bounces off him, hits Athena, bounces back to Agni, bounces back to Athena. That's what this is accounting for and is putting into your raw DPS. Because your raw DPS is now an AoE number, your time to kill an Agni is inaccurate and it won't show you. Because that's not really what Odysseus bow is about. It's not about killing a single target, it's about killing an entire team. So when you're looking at Odysseus bow, you just sort of want the highest damage number possible. I am looking for feedback on this program and your guys' thoughts on it. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions or comments, things I should change. There's a lot coming in the future for this. This is live. This is based on the live servers. This does not take into account the PTS changes. That's something that I'm doing for myself and likely not releasing to the public as of yet. It does not take into account hunter steroids, which is why we use Neath. So eventually I'll put in something that will allow you to say, hey, my character is Rama, right? So Rama, bam, different base stats. And I want to see what my DPS is during my pick-me-up. Well, it'll allow you to do that eventually. There's a few other things down the line, like Executioner and other stack items, like Bloodforge counts as if it's fully stacked. Eventually, I'll put in a thing where it'll like calculate your damage on the first hit, then the second hit, then the third hit, then the fourth hit, and then you're fully stacked from there. Stuff like that. That's not in yet. It's not bound to only hunters, right? Like I can put in a Bancroft's Talon. Everything becomes weird if you put in a Bancroft's Talon. You probably shouldn't do that, but you can if you want to mess around with it. So this is going to be linked in the comments down below. It's linked as a copy, which means when you open it, it'll say, do you want to make a copy? Yes. So you're not actually editing the real document, and I can continue to make changes on that. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Here, there will be an attached Reddit post. If you like this video, well, like, comment, subscribe. I will be making more stuff and updating the system. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Kretuhtuh with a T-U-H. I'll see you guys next time. And once again, this is beta. It's testing. Let me know if you find any bugs, anything that needs changes, and I'll try and fix it. I'll catch you guys next time.